Hi, Miss Wong. I am here today doing our inquiry project. This is gonna be fun. I hopefully can articulate my words really well and explain everything that I need to explain to you. So here we go. So I think it's really prevalent that I feel really impacted by China. Most of the projects or human rights issues I've done is about China's and these I should say concentration camps, I would like to call them, because these aren't just like worker camps or how China would say just re-education centers. These are camps that are killing people and experimenting on them and violating their many rights they have. So the target group that we're trying to target is the Falun Gong. I'm very bad at saying this name, but it's not a actually people group anymore. It is a people group, but it's more of a religion group. These people believe that they are like one mind, spirit, body, mind, spirit, and they believe that they have a belief basically, right? So to kind of explain what our issue is. Our issue is about human harvesting, or organ harvesting, I should say. Not human harvesting. That is still what China is doing, but it's more of organ harvesting. This has been happening since 20th century, like 2003, 2003 onwards. So let's do some statistics here, actually. So the estimate of how many people have registered for organ donors is actually 1.6 million people. That's a lot, actually. And only 3 out of 100 can be actually donors. So that's still like a lot of organs, right? But the thing is what China has the highest organ donors in like marginalized groups comparatively, right? But they have such a high number of organs, yet the math doesn't really add up. So we go from the beginning. If I remember correctly, 10,000 people were getting organs, I should say, transplanted, right? So 10,000 people is getting organ transplanted every year, right? That's a really high number because everyone was fleeing to China to get their organs. But yet, here begs the question, why is it so high and how is it so high? Well, China's excuse was that they were killing, that death row inmates where organs are being harvested. Okay, that sounds right. And then we hear the numbers of how many death row people were killed, and the math adds up to 2,000. Well, let's just, for example, say, yes, there is 2,000 people that died, and there's magically 10,000 people who got saved. That math doesn't add up. And not just that, you have to have 100,000 people donate, not just 10,000. Because if you have 10,000 people die and 10,000 people with organs, like the math doesn't add up because the chances are so slim for you to have a matching organ and a matching time for this patient. So then this begs the question, where are they getting these organs? So what is happening is a marginalized groups are being kept prisoners in China for just believing in this one thing. China is a communist country, and they, if I remember correctly, they aren't okay with other religions. This might be wrong, but this is what I remember from my research. So here, so here are like the articles that are being broken actually. So articles 2, articles 3, articles 5, 9, and 18. They're basically about religion, basically about torture and freedom. Because keep in mind, all of these people are held injustly in concentration camps for the sole purpose of their organs being harvested. So Statistics show that over 1.5 million people have been killed to the billion-dollar trade of the system, since organs are so rare because you only can make one in your body. That a lot of people are dying for this billion-dollar trade. Like a kidney costs $100,000. $100,000 on the black market. So like, so these people, like the Fongo practitioners, the Uyghurs, the Tibetans, and other prisoners, okay, are subjected to be organ harvest. But I would like to just go into the Gong practitioners because that's the one I researched more on. So these people, right, they would be held captive, thrown in these concentration camps, tortured, beat daily, right, and occasionally they would get their medical examination and blood tests. What was really interesting to me is that the people who were being tortured didn't think this was unusual. They just thought this was, oh, okay, yeah. Like they didn't think that was the scariest part. They thought the beatings and the other things, which made sense, because like some of the escapees, they have said these things. Yeah. And how, like, to me, like their quality of life is being shunned, I think, is because if you are a Falun Gong practitioner, you can be thrown into the concentration camp to be harvested at any time. That is a scary mindset. Like, imagine if us Christians were in the same situation, we would be just thrown into concentration camps and be harvested. Right? It's the same idea as how Hitler basically threw all these Jews and just decided to kill them all. There is no difference between those two. One was just that they just want to kill people, but the other is just targets the organs, which ultimately led them to death. So 10% of all organs transplants are from the heart, lungs, and liver. Organs are failing, so that's why it was happening. So what does the Bible say about this? So the Bible says, do not know that your bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, who may be received from God. You are not your own, but you are bought by a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. 1 Corinthians 6, 9 to 20. From my viewpoint, our bodies are something that should not be harvested, should not be beat. It is a place where we have to acknowledge that it should be respected. No one's body should be disrespected because it is the handwork of God, I would say. It pains me to see such things happen because I feel like there is so much truth to what it says in these verses, like in the sense of God did this, like made us so beautiful, yet why are we disrespecting each other? Why are we beating each other up? Why are we harvesting each other's organs? Also, if the end goal for us humans was to harvest each other's organs and to make one superior than the other, that's not how God sees it. God sees us as, why are we doing this to each other? We are all supposed to be equal. You are not supposed to say take a person's life to make your life longer. You're just supposed to realize that you have a certain time in this world and just accept the fact that you are about to die. Not just go and harvest someone's organs and kill them to make your life a little bit better. And why is this like trade marketing so easy for China and why this is still running is because it is high demand and it's high cost too, because it's such high demand. So organs are like really expensive. Going back to my original point, that's why like China's transplant centers have the highest income rate show. Yeah, they make the most money basically. Yeah, this gets me really sad every time I have to read this part. So what is being kept to resolve these issues? Well, if you think about it realistically, there's going to be some people who always want to have organs, a better kidney, a better mind, like better of one thing, right? So that's what's keeping the issue. Also, like apparently I didn't know this, but a lot of people at our school actually don't know. Well, they do know, but they just don't know that these are concentration camps that are being held, which is very interesting to me. It's showing that we're not really being educated during our history classes or anything, or just in general. I feel like if you wanted to solve history now, you should go back. Like if you're doing history, yes, like grade 9 and 10 history, that's good. But I think you should also bring in like prevalent info about what's happening in the world, like current events, which I think would help a lot. And like, you know, conflict with countries, and it's really hard to like stop China and stuff. So I feel like we just have to press for more like laws and changes like that. Like Australia, which I'm very proud that Australia does, says it's illegal to go to a different country to get organs or to do medicinal work, basically. Medicinal transplant, which I thought was really cool that Australia did that. So how are the people respond to this? So I have a lot of quotes actually. So this woman, right, was being beaten daily, being harassed, and one day, right, she was taken into this room and she was put on the table. Two doctors came in and then they started opening her up, alive. This is the thing about China. They are doing most of these procedures while they're alive. So the woman says, how can you kill several hundred million of us people that are being persecuted by you for our true belief? From what I got from the school says, how can you guys be killing us for just believing what we believe? Which I felt like was, wow, this is scary that these are actually happening. Like this is actually a real thing. Like it's like several hundreds of million people. It's like if all Christians from China were being killed for their organs. And another quote from the doctors was, I would have felt better if I was removing organs from dead bodies, but these people were alive. This kind of just shows that, like, these doctors are doing these procedures. Because I feel like what I forget sometimes as a doctor is that you are a doctor to heal, not a doctor to do other things. The doctor's first job is to always save the patient. And I think that is also really mind-boggling because whether you're a criminal, whether you're a terrorist, the doctor's first job is to always help and protect. And to see that these doctors are like organ harvesting, it's just really sad for me. And yet, like, these doctors feel bad themselves for doing this. And yet, I don't understand how some doctors feel like this is normal. The Falun Gong were probably not seen as people. They're probably seen as worse. Yeah, that is another. I have many quotes. This basically is kind of stating like how the Falun Gong weren't seen as people. They were like when they were in prison, right? The guards would not see them as people. They were seen as worse. They were seen as like gremlins or like demons. Because what the narrative was is that the Falun Gong would eat their own child. And I heard like something like this before, and I'm like, what? That's so weird. But yeah, like how a genocide happens is that they start demonizing this people group. so that the whole world will change against them, so that giving the government and the party media more power to do these things. So my inquiry project is basically me and Brendan have done a lot of research about how we saw the Falun Gong being harvested for the organs and to be given to people in China. If you have any more questions, I'll be glad to talk to you more about in a one-on-one situation. But yeah, thank you.